Yeah.
I'm glad you made the distinction between the literary journaling and the more goal-oriented reflective practice, because you're right. Some people gravitate towards one or the other. And for me, I started with the literary journaling. And
Yes.
at first, that looked like for me just pulling out quotes that spoke to me. I'm definitely a quote collector. And so, as you mentioned in the book, highlight, to journal and reflect, I would start to pull out those quotes, but then I would do a little bit of writing on why I thought that quote jumped out at me, why it was resonating for me, what message perhaps did I need to learn. And from just lifting lines from the text and writing about it, then I became more of a stream of conscious writer.
Yeah.
What did this book need me to know today? And I would just write
Yeah.
about, okay, what did I like? And especially as you mentioned, what didn't I like? What triggered me? What did I feel
What
like?
irritated you? What were you
Yeah.
disgusted
And,
by?
and I,
Yeah.
I was
Surprised you
shocked.
even. Yeah.
Yeah, it was so helpful to not just experience it as I read and move on, but to actually ask those questions of why. Some pretty important learning came out of just that stream of consciousness writing. And then I was hooked and moved to your more structured approaches and have been just going down the rabbit hole of all of the different ways to do that. So if listeners are listening and are thinking, I don't write about my reading, like that's what I did in school. It's not that kind of writing. It truly is
No.
this
It's
personal,
so personal.
reflective, and as you
Yeah.
mentioned, whatever feels good to you, right? I started just writing quotes down, and that led to a deeper, longer, more expansive practice that I feel like has been so impactful.
Yes, exactly. I think the first question I get everyone to focus on is we often choose a book that we really connect with. And so I'd say, what's your reason for picking up this book? What have you
Mhm.
connected with? What need is this book meeting? Because obviously it's meeting a need. And I think that helps to uncover so much and unravel so much in terms of your needs and just some of the things on your mind at the moment. But secondly, the second question, which is on the opposite side of that, is what's irritating me or triggering me about this book? Because again, that is uncovering so much. And sometimes you don't want to pick up a book because we just don't connect with it, and that's fine. Or it could also be because it's touching on something that's quite difficult that might actually be quite helpful to address something traumatic. And you might not feel ready, and that's fine. But if you do feel ready, again, do those journaling prompts, do the exercise